AWS it provides the broader cloud background, the infrastructure for capabilities. So, and the great thing about it is the global scale and reach. I mean, the services like clean rooms are enabled on cloud, right? And that cloud capability is available in all kinds of different markets. So if you're a major consumer goods brand that operates in many, many different countries, you want a partner in the tech space that can help you scale. And that's what we do really well. And you want a partner that is secure.
Welcome back to the Commerce Collective podcast brought to you by Flywheel. My name is Emma Irwin, your host for this show, and today we are zooming out just a bit from our usual scope of commerce to talk about something that we haven't really talked about before, and that is AWS. In this episode, you're going to learn about what all AWS encompasses. It's okay if you don't know much beyond kind of a cloud computing platform. I'm with you. You'll learn about AWS solutions for the verticals of retail and consumer goods, and you'll learn about how many companies are interacting with and building with AWS, all the way down to what types of people our guest is interacting with from these companies on the day-to-day. Without further ado, let's meet our guest.
Yeah, sure. So thanks so much for having me here. It's great to spend some time with you, and really excited for today's conversation. I work for Amazon, been here almost 5 years. So I sit within Amazon Web Services for those that may or may not be familiar with AWS. And that's the cloud technology part of Amazon. And I spend my days working with retailers, with restaurant brands and organizations, and with consumer goods manufacturers and distributors. And that's the kind of the organization that me and my team sit in. And it's an exciting time in our industry, and it's an exciting time at Amazon. And man, things are moving so quickly now that it's a lot of fun being a part of a culture that's all about innovation.
For sure. Amazing. And I'm going to ask you before we really dig into it, a question we ask everyone, but I love it even more when someone works at Amazon. What is the last thing you've purchased from Amazon?
Oh my God. That's one of our favorite icebreaker questions with customers, going around and it kind of gets people laughing a little bit because people buy all kinds of things on Amazon, right?
They sure do.
For me, I'm not no particular order. I just know in the last couple of days, these braided belts are kind of hot right now, and I picked up one or two more of those. I know some hair gel. I know, crazy. And like these travel shaving cream, like the size you can put in your suitcase. Like, I don't want to go to the store for that. I can get it right here, and it's at my house tomorrow. So, but I mean, that's just probably the last couple of days.
That's very exciting. I love it.
Yeah.
So today, I guess I will set the scene better in that, like, on this podcast, we talk about AMC all the time. This is a very applicable solution for the brands that we work with. And as digital commerce practitioners, we're in AMC. We're playing around in there and then reporting back the insights. So on the flip side with AWS, that's where I kind of I think it'd be really good to kind of first just kind of level set. What is AWS beyond Amazon Web Services? I know cloud computing platform. I don't know what that means. Can you please kind of help elaborate?
So the first thing to understand about Amazon is many companies under one brand called Amazon, right? So I'll give you some examples. So Amazon was established in the mid-90s, as most of you know, selling books and CDs, and then expanded into all kinds of different categories. And now, fast forward, we're in the cloud computing business, that's AWS. We're in the satellite business, that's our Kuiper business. You mentioned Amazon advertising is an incredible business for Amazon. We're in the space business. We own Ring doorbells. We're in grocery with Whole Foods, right? And Amazon Fresh, it's our own grocery concept. I mean, I could keep going. My point is that when you think about Amazon, most people know they shop on Amazon.com. Some people in the marketing world would know Amazon advertising, right? And then thus AMC. In the IT world, many would know AWS. So that gives you some sense from Amazon and where different parts fit in. They all operate independently, though, which is super interesting. So, for example, and AWS was established in 2006 as the cloud business started only in 2006. It's crazy to think. Like, it seems like it's been here forever, but 2006. And for 6 or 7 years, there was no other player in that space. Now there's others, but you might have a retailer or a brand working with 5, 6, 7, or 8 or more different parts of Amazon, right? Remember, each operates independently. So if you're a customer of ours like a Pepsi Cola, you might be working with a team within advertising, a team at AWS, and so forth. And that's part of our model. It's how we go to market. And so, but primarily where AWS fits into the story for these companies is as either a platform for data, a platform for clean rooms and analytics, capabilities around AI, of course, which are hot right now, and also to move retailers and brands off of their legacy technology that's inflexible and really get them to a place where they've got good cost savings and can better serve a customer.
That makes sense. From what I've read, if I'm understanding correctly, like with AMC, you can put in essentially your own Amazon advertising data. I know there are some kind of other connections, but with a clean room within AWS, is that where you can then kind of, as you said, it's a data platform. You can input data from other retailers
That's
and
right.
look at it all more holistically.
Yeah, the whole clean room concept is one that's really taken off the last year or two, I would say. And it's really basically, to keep it simple and not get too technical, it's an environment where you can match up different types of data, apply analytics, and now, of course, you can run AI models or generative AI models against that data and get better recommendations on decisions, get better attribution. And so, yeah, the AWS Clean Rooms is a powerful part of any marketer stack, I'll call it, that we work with.
Follow-up question is like, let's say like a consumer goods brand, why would you use AMC instead of just AWS for everything if both are clean rooms?
It provides the broader cloud background, the infrastructure for capabilities. So, and the great thing about it is the global scale and reach. I mean, the services like clean rooms are enabled on cloud, right? And that cloud capability is available in all kinds of different markets. So if you're a major consumer goods brand that operates in many, many different countries, you want a partner in the tech space that can help you scale. And that's what we do really well. You want a partner that is secure. And that's what we do really well. And you want a partner, by the way, that when you have your data in AWS, you're not concerned about others getting access to it, or you're using AI models against it. You're not doing that in a public way. And so, there's many different ways that the companies that might use AMC elements could be running on AWS, and they may have data sitting in all kinds of different places.
I'd love to dig deeper into the retailer, consumer goods brands, restaurants, the verticals that your team supports. Can you kind of talk through in more depth, the kind of variety of solutions that exist within AWS? Like, why else would these companies be working with you, and kind of what solutions do you provide?
Yeah, great question. So the majority of those brands are legacy companies. Let's start with retail, because then we'll work our way to consumer goods. But many of those companies built their business on technology that sits in a data center or on-premise. They might be using technologies that are custom built. And then they launched e-commerce separately. That business was supposed to be this thing on the side. Well, for many of those companies, that's become a significant business. And so, but they built it on different technology. So one big challenge many retailers face is, how do you get this legacy technology that's outdated, antiquated, not flexible, not scalable, very expensive, to cloud, where you use it when you pay for it when you're using it, right? You can make changes so easily and quickly to that tech. You can have better access to data, so you can do better analytics and AI. So that journey, I'll call it, that transformation journey, is what many companies, including consumer goods brands, are on today. Now, when you say services or solutions, there are some things we offer that are turnkey capabilities. I'll give you an example, 2 great examples. One would be our personalization technology called Amazon Personalize. Like, on your own e-commerce site, you can be using that service to better personalize the experience for you or I as a shopper. We also have a service called Amazon Connect. It's a contact center solution, and it's super lightweight, super inexpensive, but so powerful now, especially with some of the new generative AI capabilities in it. You can start using that today if you're an AWS customer. I mean, it is powerful. So like, those are services or solutions that are somewhat turnkey, but then we have this entire ecosystem of partners. They could be consulting partners, or they could be technology partners, and they also bring solutions and services, some of which we didn't build. They built on AWS. So when you think about services or solutions, it's important to think there's three categories. One, that are off the shelf from AWS. Two, from our partners. Or three, I want to build it myself. And a good example, Carter's, you might know, 1,000 stores, a great customer of ours. They built their own loyalty system on AWS. They built their own point of sale system on AWS. So that fits into box number 3.
Okay, now that we've got an understanding of AWS and how retailers and brands find themselves working with and building with AWS, I wanted to dig a bit into who all is in the room when retail or brand solutions are ideated. Like, who is Justin meeting with? Are these folks the C-suite, the data scientists, the solution architects? Who does it take to bring these solutions to life?
When AWS was established, again, back, I think 2006, that first runway of years in cloud, the vast majority of customer personas would have been technology. So under the CIO or CTO, head of infrastructure, security, that has changed dramatically. I've been here almost 5 years, but even when I got here, that was already shifting. And now, in any given meeting, you'll have the head of marketing, CMO, the chief supply chain officer, the head of manufacturing. Like in consumer goods, we do so much in manufacturing that with technology and data that they're typically there. The CFO cares a lot about cost savings and efficiency. So on the tech side, I would say we've leveled up the relationships, so no longer are we majoring in the infrastructure, but now we do that plus so much more from a services capability perspective. And so for me personally, I've got a number of customer meetings today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Like, yes, technology is involved, but typically the head of e-commerce will be there, as I know in several of them they will be, the head of digital commerce, and head of marketing will be in all of those, for example, this week.
When you're in the room with these types of roles, how do you interact in a way that level sets the varying knowledge that exists in that room? Better said, there are varying personalities across C-suites, across companies, and some are more technologically advanced than others. Tell me about your approach here.
The key in those meetings where you have a variety of people is and you got to be customer obsessed. So you're thinking about what their needs are. So for example, when I'm presenting, I'm primarily focused on the line of business leaders. So we might be talking about what's called a digital twin in manufacturing, or IoT services in manufacturing or supply chain, or how do you improve forecast accuracy, or how do you improve your allocation and planning process for retail stores, or your planogram for a shelf set, or advertising spend optimization. So if you notice everything I just said, you're probably like, yeah, I kind of know what those mean. And so the line of business people are like, yeah, I like this guy. He's talking my language. And then there is typically a part where a solution architect or other will go a bit deeper into things like AI. At level 100, it's, most people, but then when you start getting down into the bits and bytes and squiggly lines and boxes, as I like to say, you're going to lose the line of business leaders, and then you're going to keep the technology leaders. So it's very important that you got to really think about your audience and then ensure to bring value to each of them when you're planning like a working session or discussion. But you're exactly right. If you walk into a meeting today with the approach that maybe people took when this company was established, might not resonate. It's an opportunity for earned trust, right? One of our leadership principles, right? If we're going to earn trust, we've got to make sure we're thinking about them first.
How does a company begin working with AWS? I think I'm more so curious if companies are knocking on your door for help, or there's still more education and digital adoption needed, and you feel like you kind of have to scream the potential of AWS from the rooftop.
Well, first of all, I would say we meet our customer where they want to be met. So we're also doing a very good job being proactive to bring the message of what we do, while we do it, and the value we bring to our customers and to the industry. Like when you're involved in the industry, you get to meet a lot of your current customers and potential future customers. So very, very engaged in those types of things. At the same time, we'll have customers reach out to us with a need. And so, for example, we may have an existing customer that's looking to really accelerate their innovation agenda, and they'll reach out proactively to us either through someone that they know in the industry or an account team leader, right, for their account. There are also customers that don't work with us today. I mean, it seems shocking, but many customers are still early days in their digital journey. And for those, it's a combination. We'll reach out, but also I've seen the reciprocal where they're reaching out proactively. I mean, the other thing that's really, I think, beneficial to them is the innovation culture of Amazon is unique. And you're just not going to find that with other technology or e-commerce leaders. And so I think that's something that most of them are really looking for. Think about Amazon from an innovation culture perspective, our supply chain knowledge and expertise and e-commerce experience and how we've translated a lot of those solutions from that business into retail. It's significant. So it's like you might have a little FOMO if you don't at least kick the tires and check it out, right? They may only be thinking of the word infrastructure, and that would be a big miss, I think, because we're so good at that. I think the industry knowledge, thinking, capability solutioning is something that most don't know about if they're not already working with us. Number two is, again, being part of that culture. We have a customer advisory board for retail, a customer advisory board for consumer goods. Like, you're missing out.
What excites you the most about AWS, specific to your role in the future or now?
First of all, I work with an incredible team. I like to say I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'm pretty sure that's not the case most days. And yet I think I'm probably pretty smart, but there's just incredibly smart people that bring so much to our organization and to our team and to the broader group. Number two would be our customers. It's like a who's who of not only name brands, companies you would recognize and know, but the startups, the new entrants, the digital disruptors they're so interesting, the way that they're approaching the market in new and different ways. They're disrupting traditional retail, disrupting some of the major consumer goods brands by getting after a category that's kind of sleepy. So I would say that would be number two. And then the number three, where else can you learn the leading technology, the leading tech in our world today? There are several companies, but Amazon is at the top of that list. What we're doing with generative AI and how we launched our Bedrock platform and how we've launched large language models and chips and infrastructure to support it, and not just launched and let it go, but it just continues. Every week something new and different is coming, and it challenges you to really think differently. You've got to be always learning and not be you cannot let yourself get stagnant here, and you just can't anyways. But I just think that kind of environment, you have to really love that environment. But those would be three reasons that get me super excited. I can probably list five more, but those are three pretty good ones.
Gotcha. I want to know if you have any closing thoughts from the discussion that you want to share with the audience.
Yeah, I would just say, don't be scared of the technology. You may not think you're a tech person, or you may not like spreadsheets, or you might not like data or pivot tables, or you may not like, I don't know, this, in the old days being a year ago, coding. You can use models for coding. You can use generative AI to create amazing images now that you could not create only 2 years ago. Videos here. So my coaching would be just lean in just a little bit, especially on the AI topic. I promise you'll be glad you did. And I'll give you a great example. If you're getting data out of AMC and you're dropping that into a spreadsheet and you're not already using a large language model against that to run it up, to bring it in and give you some insights, you're missing out. And that is available today. If you're a customer of ours, you should be using that. Don't be doing all your own analysis and assessment. Ask a model to give you some initial insights at least. So, and that doesn't require any coding or training. Come on, guys.
Dang,
just
I
lean
could
in
do
just
that.
a little bit. You'll be glad you did. I promise you'll be glad you did.
Perfect. Okay, my last question for you, another one that we ask everyone, but something that lives on your digital wish list, which means it's just in a cart somewhere, but you never actually purchase it, and why?
Okay, so I'm going to answer this probably differently than the way you think. Another of our leadership principles, for those that haven't figured out, we have these leadership principles and we use them a lot. One is called bias for action. And so typically when something goes in my cart, it's coming to my house.
Fair enough. I knew
and then
because once you said
it
bias.
It might go back, but It's coming to my house.
And that wraps up another episode of the Commerce Collective podcast. Thank you to Justin and Amazon for coming on the show and sharing their expertise. And hopefully you're walking away with a bit more knowledge on AWS. I've been your host, Emma Irwin, and I will see you next time.